Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome everyone to Showstoppers Toastmasters Club meeting 67. So excited that you all can make it here. I will hand over the platform to our SAA or to start off, kick off the meetings right now. Over to you, SAA, for the day.
Scotty, you mute.
Good evening to you all, and welcome to you all again on behalf of Toastmasters Showstoppers Club. And for the
to start off, kick off the meetings right now. Over to you, SAA, for the day.
there is a echo is there. I mean, I may have
Scotty,
to
you mute.
just a minute. Good evening to you all, and welcome to you all again on behalf of Toastmasters Showstoppers Club. And for the
start off, kick off the meetings right now. I think, Qazi, you and I are being cloned on this network. We've got more sides of us that we do not know. Okay. All right, start off.
Yes. Just a minute. Yes, now I hope it's fine. There was a YouTube video which was on, because of that there was some echo.
Not a problem.
So again, welcome to you all on behalf of Showstoppers Toastmaster Club for the meeting number 67. And we as a Toastmasters, we have got mission wherein we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So there are some rules and regulations. We have to avoid taboo topic. There are 3 topics, which is sex, religion, and politics. So apart from that, now without much ado, I will hand over it to our president, TM Dinesh. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Toastmaster Qazi. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Toastmaster Showstoppers. And thank you, Toastmaster Qazi. He had to fill in for Toastmaster Utkarsha right now. But going on with our speech, President's speech. I don't know if you all know what's the President's role actually on Toastmasters. The joke on the court day was the fact that it has all the duties of the normal president of a country without any paycheck at all. So that's what the president is all about. And so I'd like to welcome you all. Let's just start off for Toastmasters, just as a reminder that it's a non-profitable educational organization, right, focused on developing public speaking and leadership skills, all right. For me, I think people get excited about LinkedIn memberships and how many friends I've got. I think being part of Toastmasters automatically gives you access to 300,000 members, over 15,800 clubs, and over 150 countries around region, which allows anybody to walk in to any country meeting virtually or physically, being there. So, not many clubs offer you that flexibility, which Toastmasters offers you. In terms, I spoke about the fact that it is to develop leadership and public speaking skills. But what is more important is that it is done in a very warm and a friendly manner. It is done in a mutual thing where people do not get criticized for what the thing, because it's a learning journey. This was founded by Dr. Ralph Smedley in 1924, and obviously in a couple of years, we shall be having the centurion celebration for the same. Now, these things will be covered in the future, but this is mostly for the guests who are normally join in or listen into our recordings at a later point of time. That it Toastmasters is not just a club where people randomly come in and speak. It is actually a very structured process, which involves focusing on certain skill sets and developing those skill sets as you go along, right? It has got something like 300 competencies that help you develop as you finish all the pathways, and there are certain pathways that are already predefined that people can choose and work on. Right? In terms of content, there are educational materials available through the Toastmasters website, which are resources that people can utilize. And most of these, as far as I'm concerned, are transferable skills. What do we mean by transferable skills? The ability to learn something here and then incorporate it in your personal life or in your corporate life, right? Let that be the ability to manage conflict. Let that be the ability to lead a team. Let it be the ability to give feedback or critique to somebody else, right? Uh, on the bottom are 5 areas where how these things help you with, and which we will and the VPE will cover over a period of time and help you all understand. The key interesting part of Toastmasters is this pyramid, right? We all heard of the pyramid of Maslow's motivational things and everything else. It all starts with a certain point. And here the key focus is always the member, right? The member of the group is defines what they want to do in terms of their Toastmaster journey, and then the club helps them grow within that journey, right? On average, every club has got 20 odd members, give and take, and when you have 4 or 6 clubs, they actually create an area, and then when you have areas that 3 to 6, they create a division, and so on and on and on. The important bit here to focus on is the member is the focus of Toastmasters, all right, and supported as a foundation by a huge organization of very competent people who help you through the whole process, right? So that's the important bit out here to remember. The focus is the member itself. Now, for many of you who still haven't got a chance to meet up with our area team or division team, like we said, we are part of Area 64, which is part of a division within District 105. Here are division directors, Toastmaster Medit, our area director, Toastmaster Devendra, and obviously our mentor and advisor, DTM Anita Naidu. They are the key foundations on which Showstoppers has been going to be performing under going forward. Now, the last time we spoke, there was a vision that was chalked out. Um but the reason I have put a stamp in there that saying is work in progress, because at the end of the day, the vision of any organization is defined by where the club needs to go and where the members within that club needs to go. So the idea right now is once we all start interacting a little more, understanding everyone's single journey, we then create what a member vision is, what a club vision is, and identify the one thing that makes us stand out from the different clubs, because our vision will help drive the members that we want to get in. No matter what the visions and goals are, I am a big believer of the fact that any club you are part of has to have a value proposition, a value system, right? And here are the values that Showstoppers, I believe, stands for. Okay, uh, they all could be read, but the key bits of here is the fact that it works on the matter of respect, the members, and trust, creativity, and it has a certain hierarchy with values in. So these are the sort of feelings that we want our members to feel and our guests to feel when they're part of Showstoppers. So coming to today's meeting, all right. Obviously, we have Toastmasters Roshni, who I'm really looking forward to help us understand that for us to be insane, we have to be insane. All right. So looking forward to it. I mean, I was hoping to have a song track going in Crazy Kia sort of stuff when Toastmaster Roshni comes in, but I will leave all the music for later. But I'm really looking forward to this thing. There has been a slight change in the agenda, so I'll just go through it just for the benefit of the members here right now. Obviously, the top part of it is thing. I want to acknowledge our VP, Toastmaster Devi, for catching on to a new theme that Toastmasters has come up with, the concept of anti-word. and she will take you through the whole process, and I'm really looking forward to that. We will have one speaker, which is Toastmaster Kazi, who will be performing his level 2 project 1. Then obviously TMOD obviously is taking over the whole role. We will then follow that by table topics, and we will have the evaluation. Obviously, we'll only have one evaluation. It says Toastmaster Sri Devi. I'm sorry, it would actually be Toastmaster David, and the anti-word will be Toastmaster Sri Devi. I just copied the wrong one. If time permits, we will have a trivia report towards the end. So having said that, I want to pass on the thing not to the word of the day, but to our Toastmaster of the day. All right. Sorry, I go back from here and hand it over to you, Toastmaster of the day, our wonderful, crazy, creative, methodological Toastmaster Dr. Roshni or Toastmaster Roshni. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. Good evening, everyone. So I was hoping this would, be a crazy meeting for all of you. And so my theme for today is because I was I was inspired by one of my favorite books, Veronica Decides to Die. It's a book. Am I audible?
Very much.
So I think you all know the author Paulo Coelho from his popular book, The Alchemist. So he's the author of this book. So this story is about the protagonist, Veronica, who at the age of 24 attempts to take her life because she felt that she reached a point in life where she experienced everything she could experience. And she was happy to do that because she did not have anything to go on to see the same things for the next 30 to 40 years of her life, and then that would lose their originality, and it'd be transformed into a tragedy of life. And it'll for her it seemed like that every day would seem just like another day. But unfortunately for her, she lives and gets admitted in a mental asylum. But there she realizes that she just has a few days to live, and that's when she feels hatred. She hated the life she had lived, and she never bothered to discover the hundreds of other Veronicas who lived inside her, who were interesting, crazy, curious, and bold. People often hate themselves because of either cowardice or the fear of being wrong and not doing what others expect them to do. In the story, the author also brings another character, Dr. Igor. He is the asylum's medical director, and the director the director of the institute wanted to find the vitriol, or it's also called the bitterness, which causes insanity among people. So he comes up with different theses. So what he found out that the vitriol, which is the bitterness, it begins to eat people when they construct high walls surrounding themselves, away from new people, new places, and different experiences. And they create this inner world within themselves. And they think that that's their reality, a reality which was created by a majority of people, even if it might not be the best or most logical, but it supports the desires of a society as a whole. Society, we feel that the society always imposes on a collective way of behaving, and people never stop to wonder why they should behave like that. So the character Veronica, she realizes that all her life she wanted to be a pianist, but she had buried that dream because her parents told her that she couldn't make a living out of it. In the end, she got a good degree, she completed her university, but she ended up being a librarian. And then she felt that she should have allowed herself to go a little crazy, but as many other people, she found it too late. So everyone is indeed crazy, but the craziest are the ones who don't know that they're crazy. They just keep repeating what others tell them to do. Our society has created the word normal in the way that normality is merely a matter of consensus. That is, a lot of people think something is right, so the thing becomes right, and that's what people tend to follow, and they don't really think that they can be different. And we begin to think that being different is a serious illness. But the thing is that if you force yourself to be say that itself is a serious illness, not being different. It's like a distortion of the God's law, because God hasn't created, there is in the world's different forests and woods, he hasn't created a single leaf which looks the same. So if you're being the same as everyone else, that means you're going against the nature's laws. So in the end, Dr. Egger, who had come up with the theory of vitriol and how it brings people, brings people to be insane, he realized that the only cure for this is to be aware of life. And later on in the book, it is revealed that this doctor, he on purpose, he purposefully induced a heart attack in the main character, Veronica, even though she was perfectly fine. Like, even after she attempted to kill herself, she was recovered. But the doctor induced a method to let her believe that she had an illness and she was going to die in a few days. But by then he realized, he was happy that she decided to leave that place, and she wanted to experience life. So he realized that now, that even though what he did was wrong, but now he can tell that that girl, now she believes that every day is a miracle. So when you consider that, there are a number of unexpected things that could happen in each second of our fragile existence. So we should live every day as a miracle. So that's how the story ends. So that's what inspired me for this. And then I realized that we build so many inhibitions within ourselves, and we were afraid to do something different, only because we are taught a certain way of life. So I'm sure we all have some crazy inside of us, and we should let ourselves be crazy at any point of our life, to be who you are, and to be yourself, to be your true self. So that's what I wanted to say today. And there's this interesting line which I like, that the danger of an adventure is worth the 1,000 days of ease and discomfort. So all these lines I've picked up from the book, because I don't know, the author describes the way of what we think the way of life is in such a different way, that I actually believed what he said, and it's true actually. So yeah. So I want all of you to let go of your self and be free. So I now hand over the stage to Toastmaster Dinesh. You're muted, Toastmaster.
I was just checking if you guys are listening or not.
Of course.
Okay. Maybe you guys went deaf for a few moments. You never know. No, just kidding. No, I was just gonna say thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Roshni. It was wonderful. I think there was so much of insight in there.
Yeah.
It was just excellent. Something to digest on, and maybe you should pass on the reference of the book so that one can read it as well.
Yeah, you should. It's
So put it in the chat group. People can catch up on it, or later on our WhatsApp or this chat group. All right. Thank you so much. I'll pass on the mic to VPE Sri Devi, who's going to actually explain to us the anti-word of the day. Over to you.
Yeah.
Do you have the slides, or do you want me to put up the slides?
No, actually, the anti-word of the day is going to be performed by Toastmaster David.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
This is the craziness of the day today, isn't it? Your speech has made us go out of window. I'm getting confused with all the people speaking around. All right. Okay. So sorry. So
We'll
over to you.
explain the rules as well.
Yeah, Toastmaster David. The field is all yours.
Yay! Right. Well, let's get on with it. All right. So the Veronica is asked to dive upon. Okay. Wow. All right. Time to go crazy, everyone. Let's just put up the slides. Could you guys enable the screen sharing, please?
Done. It's multiple participants.
Multiple participants can see. All right. All right. Let's think of the anti-word of the day. Now, before we start with the word, what the anti-word of the day is, like, as the two words define it, word of the day is something that we have to use on a regular basis throughout the meeting. The anti-word is something that we shouldn't use. And according to what Ms. Sridevi has sent, if someone uses the prohibited word, encourage them to spontaneously reformulate their sentence to avoid using it. Pretty smart. In the same way that the word of the day expands your vocabulary, an anti-word of the day pushes you to use your existing synonyms and new ways to express yourself. Mom's the word. In Toastmasters, we learn to actually think on our feet, to actually seeing our ways to incorporate the word of the day into our speaking. Why not switch things up with featuring an anti-word? Toastmaster magazine. Instead of introducing an uncommon word that people are encouraged to use, identify a common word or words that people are not allowed to use. Now, see, we got the formalities out of the way. This just takes me back to the COD training where I was just introducing the formalities, and now it's my turn. What is the anti-word of the day? What did I think about that is so important that we cannot use it? Crazy. How creative is that? Like, today's meeting is supposed to be the show that we're so crazy and we have to let our crazy side out there. But we can't use the word crazy. We have to think on our feet. We have to be creative. And what does crazy mean? Mad, extremely enthusiastic. Yeah, that is something people do say about me, that I'm extremely enthusiastic, but then again, the bags under my eyes show it differently. Let's go, guys. And what are the synonyms of crazy? Mad, insane, lunatic, unbalanced, wild. Damn, that's a lot of words. And the antonyms are sane, sensible, balanced, realistic, and wise. Something my friends won't really call that about me. But what are some examples over here? George is crazy and undisciplined. Ouch, George. What did you do in school? The music was driving me crazy. Yes, I completely agree with that statement. He is crazy about her. Astaghfirullah, really? I think they all should be crazy. And they all thought her idea was crazy. Of course it is. Of course it is. People always think ideas are crazy till they actually start using it. I mean, today we're starting to use something called the anti-word of the day. But 67 meetings, we couldn't use it. And today is the first time we're using it. The idea is crazy, but not impossible. So the details about the anti-word, they're pretty clear to everyone on board. I hope. Could I get a thumbs up if everyone has understood what the anti-word of the day is? Okay. No one can use the word crazy. Now, here's a bit of a twist. With these examples, right? There's 4 examples, and there are 4 speakers over there. There's Toastmaster Sridevi, the Toastmaster Kazi, Toastmaster Danish, and Tia Modi Roshni. Now, I want you guys, you guys all have to speak, to replace crazy in each of these sentences, all right? So, Toastmaster Sridevi, the first sentence, George is crazy and undisciplined. Please replace crazy in that sentence. And to make it even more fun, I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. George is outrageous and undisciplined.
Ooh, good thinking. Good thinking. Now,
That was-
next, Toastmaster Kazi. The music was driving me crazy. You have 5 seconds, replace crazy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Music was driving me nut.
Perfect. Nuts. Let's go. Now, TMOD Roshni. Let's see. He is crazy about her. You have to replace the sentence with you have to replace crazy. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He is insane about her.
Insane about her. Ooh, kind of works. Kind of works. You can see it come. And last, our president, Toastmaster Dinesh. They all thought her idea was crazy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They all thought her idea was lunatic, wild, outrageous.
Boom. So congratulations, guys. Now you guys all know that you guys can say words that are not really crazy. So please don't use crazy. And that brings me the end to my segment, the anti-word of the day. Please enjoy yourself for the next part of the meeting. Now I take the stage back to our lovely TMOD, Dr.
I think I can be allowed to use the word crazy because I introduced them.
Oh,
Oh,
vetoed, let's go.
done.
Okay. So I think we should start. We should start our speeches now.
Yeah, we can. But just an observation. Do you all know that song by Madonna? Is okay, VP, that we can go a little relaxed on this meeting? Thank you. Now, Earl, do you know the song by Madonna that she sang in the 80s, Crazy for You? No, you don't, none of you. I won't even go for it. But you should try singing that song with these sort of synonyms. The whole meaning of the song changes. It talks about a girl, how crazy she is for his love. So imagine turning around and saying lunatic for you, or somewhere she says, there's craziness in our love. Imagine telling someone there's wildness in our love. The whole meaning changes if you understand the context of what I'm talking about. So over to you, TMOD. Yes, you can start with the speech. You could introduce our first speaker, please. Sorry, you introduce or evaluated to introduce the first speaker, please.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
mine.
I call upon Toastmaster Sridevi.
Oh, it's me.
Who's the evaluator? You, sorry. Sorry.
Toastmaster David.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This meeting is really lunatic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's,
Good.
it's really,
Good. You didn't say. Crazy Toastmaster Dinesh. Good, you
okay.
didn't say
So
that.
No, but I
Toastmaster
think that
David.
it's always good to try and use the word, but to try and use a replacement word rather than things. So it's good. Thank you. It's an interesting concept.
All right. So the speech, let me just pull up the evaluation form as well. All right. So Toastmaster Kazi is speaking as level 2 project 1. Level 2 project 1, presentation mastery. The purpose of the speech is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. So identification. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes, and the title of the speech is Style is Everything for an Effective Communication. Style is everything for an effective communication. Toastmaster Kazi, the stage is yours.
Kazi, camera slightly lower or come a bit closer because you're a bit far off on the thing. Yeah, okay, fine, perfect.
Have you all completed the communication style questionnaire in the Toastmasters pathway to identify your communication style? Does that match with your actual style? I feel my style of communication is direct style, whereas my scorecard shows that my style of communication is initiating style. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. So I don't have guest today, unfortunately. Everyone has their approach to the communication, and most time the people fluctuates with different styles depending on the different situation. But still, we all have one communication style which we feel most natural to us. So I will take you through different 4 styles of communication with an example, and I will brief you about the weak point of those styles. The first style is direct style of communication, which matches with my style, wherein I will get directly to the point specifically and quickly. Direct communicator are result oriented and focused and motivated to get things accomplished. They ask direct questions and demand succinct answers. An example of direct communicator is, which relates to my work, wherein when I talk to our design engineer, and when I need something quickly, I would say, make sure the design is done by the end of the day so that I can submit it to the client tomorrow. In this case, I have conveyed straightforward message and clearly directs an action, which also will lower the possibility of misunderstanding. The weak point of this kind of communication is we always concern about the result than relationship, and at times, we will stick to the terms and conditions. The second style of communication is analytical style of communication. Analytical communicator likes facts and figures. When I talk to my boss, I have to keep my feelings away, and I have to present the ideas, and I have to present the information with facts. Basically, I'm a salesperson, and when I talk to my boss, what matters for him is just the numbers, the sales. So I cannot generalize the statement. I cannot say sales are up this quarter. In fact, instead, I have to say sales are up by 6.2% this quarter. So he wants me to be very precise with exact numbers. I must avoid beating around the bush when I talk to him. So basically, bosses like, they like facts and figures, then ideas and opinions. So the weak point of this type of communication is they are slow and cautious before making any decision. They look for evidence before concluding anything. So the third type of communication is supportive style of communication. As a supportive communicator, we should be patient and supportive, cooperative, and sympathetic. Our approach should be calm and steady. Again, an example of my conversation with our design engineer, wherein in this case, I would say you have to work on this project and you have enough time. Our submission will be the end of this month. And if you need any assistance, please let me know. In this case, I have given him my project and I have given him enough time to work on that. And I have offered him an assistance if it's required. So the weak point of this kind of communication is people. It's difficult for a supportive communicator to say no to the people, and at times people take advantage of this. And the fourth style of communication is initiating style of communication. Initiating communicator are sociable, fun-loving, and impulsive. In our previous meeting, which was our first XCOM meeting of our club and presided by TM Dinesh, I felt he has initiating type of communication. He values interacting with others and sharing ideas. He was energetic and enthusiastic. Weak points of this communicator are considered to be gregarious, and they are pursued to talk more than they listen. But Mr. Dinesh, you do listen to us, I must tell you. And I have talked about current president, but I must say our past president was also very friendly, enthusiastic, energetic, and fun-loving and friendly. So even though she is not there, but she had all these qualities. So and then these were the 4 styles of communication, and I believe that it's important for us to know our style and also to know the person with whom we are communicating with. If we are not authentic in our style, then the person with whom we are talking can sense it, and it will be difficult for them to know to trust what we are saying. In conclusion, we need to use the blend of all 4 types of communication to address a situation well by selecting a right communication style. After all, style is everything for an effective communication. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kazi. Now I call upon Toastmaster David for evaluation, or should we go on to the next
We go for the TT.
table topics? And who is
I'll,
David?
I'll just quickly.
So sorry, I'm
It's okay. It's
getting
okay.
confused of the agenda.
Listen, as long as the power is vested into me, I allow you guys to be as flexible as possible because all the watchdogs are not around today, so it's fine. But what I wanted to say is I just want to quickly give my timer report in terms of things. So, Toastmaster Kazi, you took approximately 6 minutes, 1 or 2 seconds. I lost my timer thing because you timed your Dinesh thing is such a wonderful time that I was so excited that I'm such a nice speaker that I forgot to change that color thing, but you did it within the time limit itself. So excellent job, well done. All right. So yes, then we now pass on to the table topics for the day, which is Toastmaster Sridevi.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the table topics master for the evening. And these are my questions. I have 7 questions. Anyone can choose the number and let me know. Would anyone like to volunteer since we are just 5? TMOD?
TMOD, wow.
Wow, very good. Can you choose a number from 1 to 7?
3.
Okay. Here's your question. Toastmaster Roshni, what was the last thing someone said that was totally absurd? What was the last thing someone said that was totally absurd, Toastmaster Roshni?
Okay. So I am going for an observership in a hospital here in Muscat. So a surgeon who I'm under a surgeon right now. So he takes me to the canteen to interact with where other doctors are there. And they interact. So they're all older to me, obviously. And so when they look at me, they'll be they ask me questions like, so are you married? And then they give me some unsolicited advices like you should be a dermatologist, and you can marry and marry a cardiologist, so that you'll have a chill life and you won't have any uh, you can have a good balanced life, your family and your career and all this. So for me, I find that absurd because I want to live in a way where I don't have to be in that so-called balanced life. I mean, I do want a proper work and life balance, but not the which is predetermined by the society. So I kind of find that absurd when speaking.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Roshni. Would anyone else volunteer?
I'll take on it. Okay, Toastmaster Kazi, go for it.
Ash? Okay, Toastmaster Kazi.
Number 5.
Any number from 1 to 7 except 3.
Number 5.
Number 5. Okay. Toastmaster Kasi, when did something feel so ridiculous? When did something feel so ridiculous, Toastmaster Kasi?
In our day-to-day life, I mean, we do feel ridiculous at times. Intentionally inspired, I mean, even though the opposite person does something good, something bad, we feel ridiculous. And just an example of today's, I mean, I felt today's example when I was in office in the morning. And there was one guy, I mean, who is senior to me, and we don't interact at all. I mean, we just say hi, bye. And he was not looking at all. I mean, he was just, he was just ignoring me, in the sense, I don't know, nothing has happened between us, but still I felt like he is ignoring, in the sense, he doesn't like me. And one time I had to ask him something, related to our work, which he did not support me, he did not answer my query, and he did not give me the details. And from that time, I felt like he has got some issues with me, but the reality is nothing has happened. We feel at times that kind of, I mean, we feel ridiculous without actually happening, without any incident. We feel that at times. And but this is a part and parcel of life. We have to ignore this kind of things, and we have to take whatever is positive which is coming in our way. We have to take that and ignore negative things. And the people, sometimes they may say something, we have to ignore that. And always we should have positive frame of mind, and that will help us to lead our life healthily. And especially ridiculous, if any statement coming in our way from anybody, should avoid this. We should ignore this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kasi. Anyone else would like to volunteer? David?
Yeah, sure. No problem. I mean, miss, you can choose anyone. There's like 7 questions, I guess, right? 6 or 7
Yeah.
questions?
Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah, just
No,
choose
dude.
anyone.
You know the question, don't you?
He
Come
knows the
on.
question.
No, we have to
That's what I
come.
just thought. But like,
The-
each of them are quite unique.
Maybe we should have
switch
an
roles at the last moment.
we should have an impromptu question right now, just to ask our Toastmaster who came up with the impromptu questions.
Okay, wait. Okay, let's see if the Miss Tabletop Master is heavy. Ask Toastmaster Dinesh the questions, any of them, right? And let's see if the TMOD can think of the most impromptu question. But today's topic is craziness, right? Think of one impromptu question which could be really hard for me to answer, and which will require you to think a lot. I don't really mind that. All right, that'll be fair, right, guys? Let the TMOD think of the craziest question. All right. So you have what, 2 minutes? I would say 2 minutes to think of a question till how Mr. Dinesh finishes speaking. All right.
Okay.
Let's see the question.
So I need to choose a number, right?
Yes, please choose a number from 1 to 7. 3 and 5 have been taken.
Should I go for the first or should I go for the 6? Should I go for the first or go for 6? Let's go for the middle number, number 4.
Okay. Toastmaster Dinesh, what was your silliest movement? What was your silliest movement, Toastmaster Dinesh?
I love these sort of questioning, don't you? I think one of the things at Toastmasters is always how do you come and embarrass yourself and talk about the most silliest things you do and the silliest moments you have and the last time you embarrassed somebody. Okay. What are the many silly things I've done? I'm not lost for thoughts because I've done so many silly things in my life. The difficulty lies here, or the lunacy lies in trying to find the right one out here. But the most uh, silliest thing that has happened to me is, like I shared with some people the other day, when I came to Dubai, and this is in the 90s. Many of you may relate to it. And Dubai being the social circle that it is, people used to network and used to go out. Do you know what were the three questions that I was asked? Many of the older generation like me will tell it to you. I was asked, Dinesh, where do you work? Because that defines which social criterion. How much money do you make? A question that I thought was always taboo to ask people, because then that tells you, do you go to the higher tier, or do you go to the middle tier, or do you go to the lower tier? And last but not the least, that I found the most interesting, what car do you drive? Right? Those were the silliest questions I think that anybody has ever asked me, just to know if they should talk to me or shouldn't talk to me. And luckily, at that point of time, I used to drive, I think, was it a Nissan Altima? So, one of these sporty cars that I had got provided by my company to me. And people forgot about where I worked and how much money I made. Looked at the car and they were ready to be my friends. So these are some of the silliest things that I have come across during my time that is here that comes to mind right now. So over to you. Thank you very much.
Dinesh, you have taken 1 minute 49 seconds. Could you note that? Anyone else would like to volunteer? Is the TMOD ready with the questions?
Yeah, I have a question ready for David.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go. Dr. Roshni, what are you going to cut? Are you going to cut me up over here? What's up? What is the scene? Let's go.
Okay, tell me something which, oh no, I mean, wait, how, tell me something where, no, wait, how crazy did you go in order to impress a girl you like?
Hey, what is this? What is this? Astaghfirullah. What is this question?
Hats off to Tia Modi today. She's in the fourth gear.
Hey man, this is Toastmasters. I'm supposed to be getting what did I do to improve my life and all that stuff. Not how crazy I'm going to impress a girl. Oh God. Okay, I have 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I have 2
Whenever
minutes.
you're
Right?
ready.
So,
Should I stop recording?
I mean, for these questions, we can give you 5. That's not a problem at all. We'd love to hear about you.
Okay,
David,
okay.
David, should
2
I stop
minutes.
recording? We need honest answer from you.
Okay, no problem. I think I can give. I think I can give two stories that come to my mind recently. 2 stories that can come to my mind. The first one, which is what I tell at every party, how I did this to impress a girl. So it was in the last year of school. All right, we have our sports day, and there was this girl I was talking to, and I had a big crush on her. She was smart, friendly, and we went to the mall. We went to the MUN together at the mall, and we spent the whole time together and all that stuff. So it was really going well. So we have sports day, and no, I'm in the athletics team, and I'm in the athletics team, football team. So sports is my forte, and I'm going to run, and I run the race. We come second, like after starting on 4th, and it's amazing. I'm so happy. We won. I had won gold medal in football, silver in running. Oscar, I'm sorry. So I go to the girl and tell her like, hey, I won this and all that stuff. And this is in the girls' basketball court. So it's quite small over there. And they were having a race. Like the girls were having a race with one guy over there. And I was just like, and the one guy was the guy in the opposite house team. Like, so we have 4 houses, Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Sigma. So Beta was the one that won gold, and the guy was over there. So I really didn't have any need to go win a race over there. So I told the person, I'm going to run also. I gave the girls a head start, all right? And I ran as fast as I could because my crush was right there and I wanted to show how fast I am. So I ran, touched the wall, and I was coming back. The problem is, you're running in such a small area, you don't know how fast you're actually running and how to stop yourself, right? So the wall over there, I went and put my hands out in front of me like this to stop my momentum from running like that, right? So I ran at like full speed, crashed in the thing, and my hands went like this. So I wouldn't say dislocated my shoulder or my elbow over there, but like I think I definitely sprained it because on the way home, I couldn't move my hand. It got stuck in this position. All right. And the next day, was, but that's not the worst part. The injury part is not the worst part. The next day was one of my friend's birthday party. And we all made a plan to come to KFC or Hardee's and all that stuff. Nice get together for the students. My mom, seeing my hand frozen like that, said, you can't go. And I had spent the entire week convincing my friends to come. Let's go. My mom told me, no, you have to go home, take rest and all that stuff. And my friends were so pissed off. Like, David, you couldn't have waited just one day to impress the girl in any other way. And I was like, no, it's fine. And guess what? I couldn't go there. And my crush, the girl who I impressed, shows up for the birthday party and is sitting there enjoying with my friends. And my friends are sending me the pictures and be like, David, she came also, right? And I was just like crying internally saying that, why? Why could I not do this? Why did I not impress? So that was the one story which I tell at every party. Like I injured my hand, I almost fractured my hand simply to show the girl I was faster, even though I won silver medal over there. Like for what reason did I do that? And like the other one, I think, Mr. Dinesh, can I have like one more story and then I'll be done?
Carry on. We've got ample time today.
Okay, so the second story, I think, all right, so craziest thing, right? So this was quite recent. I think this was in it was summer last year, October, November. Okay. One of my friends, person I was not interested in, but like, we're just fun. It's just fun. It's nice. She had invited me like to come chill at her place. Her parents have gone over to Qatar, and her brother and everybody, we're all family friends. But the thing is, her parents are strict. When I say strict, I mean they're like Hitler level strict, like very, 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 very strict. So it was a mission impossible to come there and all that stuff because their building has like passcodes and all that stuff. I thought I was in a Mission Impossible movie right now because she was telling me when I reached the doorway, okay, go from the back end over there and tell that, write this code on the keychain. I was like, okay. I wrote the keychain, went inside, went up the lift, smiled to everyone who was passing by. So it doesn't really see. I go to the place. I see my friend, like, hi, hello, and all that shit. She said, you have to be really quiet. I was like, why? My parents have cameras in the house also, with that voice also. And I was just like, what am I doing? Like, what am I here for? And like, just keep quiet and like, just party, just enjoy it. I'm like, okay. I'll keep quiet. Cameras were there, it's okay. And the next thing I know, all right, we're just chilling, we're watching a movie, we're all just eating food, and we did Just Dance, cameras, again, quiet, no that shit. Suddenly, out of nowhere, we hear the doorbell ring. And here's what I realized. I rather hide, jump, or anything like that than get caught. Okay, that's like the main thing to do. And I hide in the bathroom, I close the door, quickly jump in the tub, like to avoid. Because if I stand behind the door, someone will open there and be like, what's this? Okay. So I hid in the tub, lay down like this, and saw the lights. And my friend is talking to this person in the door for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And I'm just wondering, please, God, please don't let this be anyone. And then she closes the door, lady, and she said, okay, it's okay. It was just a grocery guy. I was like, you don't talk to a grocery guy for 10 minutes, man. What do you talk for 10 minutes to a grocery guy for? I'm dying over there in the bathtub with no light over there. What are you doing? So I think those two are the top thing, craziest things I've done for a girl over there. Like one is just like almost injure my hand, and two is like literally do a mission impossible over there just to meet the person. Just because, you know, her parents went out. What is that? So yeah, that's my story. Like one of my two stories over there.
Thank you so much, David.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
But have they been impressed though?
What do you mean? Like, have they been impressed half that? The thing is, the fact that I've done it and all that stuff, for them, it just seems like, oh, it's fine. Okay, it's cool. I think we're just friends now. At this point, we're just friends. All right, we're just friends. All right. Yeah, like, that's
Okay.
the saddest thing I've heard in my life. Just friends.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Considering that we've got time, dear Modi, do you think you can come up with a question for our table topic master? I mean, it's not right to leave her out when everybody else is so busy trying to come up with things. So take a few minutes, try and figure it out. But I'll tell you about an observation that I made. Yeah, you watch all these Bollywood, Hollywood movies, and you see these romantic scenes in there. There, the girl tends to like all the craziness the guy does just to impress them, right? But I wonder in reality, does that actually impress a girl? So while we're waiting for the questions to come from Toastmaster Roshni, I'm going to pose this question to Toastmaster Sridevi. This is not your impromptu question, but an observation that I'd like to know. Do women like men to make fools of themselves just to fall in love with them? Or is it the vice versa?
I guess it depends on the age of the woman.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you are in college or school, maybe you can you can you can tolerate such craziness, and when you age, maybe you lose that attitude.
The
towards-
tolerance level.
the tolerance level has gone down. Yeah.
So I don't know the ages, but I'm going to go to our Toastmaster of the day today. What is your observation when it comes to does craziness impress people? Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to do craziness. It's when people go nuts, does it impress people?
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, at least you get noticed. Like that's the main aim for them. Like they want to be noticed by the person they, like. So the moment they're noticed, they have that satisfaction that yeah, she looked at me, or he looked at me, he noticed me, and you feel happy.
No.
Yeah.
There is a little bit there.
No, I'll
So now,
agree with.
no, David, I was just going to tell you, you got now two perspectives of women to tell you how to behave the next time you try to do something crazy to impress somebody.
I'm not doing like I'm done. I'm going to be straightforward. I'm going to be entertaining like I normally am. Like I was on stage. That's about it. I'm not going to do. I'll do some comedy skits here and there. Talk about my life over there. Like do stand up. That's about it. Craziness is out. There's no time. But like no, I get like Toastmaster Roshni was right. The Timodi was right. You do get noticed for those type of things because then they'll be like when I say friends, even they're good friends because they know that you'll be there for them. For them.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You're a Bollywood fanatic. So if you watch all these Bollywood movies, you'll always find the actor who's the dark, handsome, like they call him in books, sort of character. But he'll always have a friend that's lunatic in between, and the comic who'll always do the comedy strip. But the woman always walks off with the guy who doesn't do the comedy. So I think that also clearly states what it is.
There I go. It's okay.
Toastmaster Roshni, do you have any question for Toastmaster Sridevi?
Yeah. Okay. So Toastmaster Sridevi, had you ever have any wild thoughts when you had to deal with your kids?
Oof.
Mm,
Oof. Oof.
confession time.
confession time. Just saying this out there. Next meeting, right? Toastmaster Roshni is going to be the table talks. I'm just calling him right now. There's no way
I
I'm
think so.
booking that. Like, I'm just booking that. I don't know what position I'm going to take.
I'm just
but
going with the
Toastmaster
theme
Roshni
here,
is-
so it's just sticking to the theme.
Well, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. My kids drive me nuts every day. So it's like an every moment experience for me. And there are really wild ideas my daughter comes up with. So when I once said her that my hair is falling and it is all around the place, she suggested a tip for stopping hair fall. And she says, just like I hold my hair and my hair doesn't fall, you also hold your hair wouldn't fall. So solutions for each and every problem. And yes, they drive me crazy. I mean, they drive me wild and nuts every day. So it's nothing new for me. That's it from me. Thank you so much. CMO.
You got another 10 seconds to go, Toastmaster. You got to pass on to the green line. Come on.
Yeah.
And by the way, the question was, what is the wildest thing that you have done when your children drive you wild?
Yes.
Have you had any thoughts, like something which
Like, you know, that's the Simpsons ones, like this with Bart.
The wildest thing would be like, I sometimes feel like running away from the home for a while, especially during the pandemic days when I had to restrict my kids to just the flat. And the wildest thing I had done was to decorate my balcony in a very different way, which people may think is wild, or maybe people think I am nuts to do something for the balcony of this kind. I had painted my balcony. I'd hanged things that would please them, and I even wrote "Our Happy Place" on the balcony wall, and I set things for them there so that they can be at home and safe, especially during the pandemic days. So that was the wildest thing that I did. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shilin.
Okay. So the Toastmasters report right now. Oh, sorry, the timers report right now. Yeah, I was having so much of fun. I'm always gonna be a lousy timer when it comes to the members here because it's so interesting and intrigued do I get into the conversation that my focus is more on the speaker than the stopwatch out there. But having said that, Toastmaster Roshni took around 1 minute 25 seconds. Toastmaster Kazi took 2 minutes 15 seconds. I think I took 1 minute 49 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have 1 minute 50 seconds for Toastmaster Sridevi. And Toastmaster David obviously took the least amount of time. He just took 5-10 seconds. But we were not timing you in this case because we were more interested to know what your stories were all about. So we would have given you more ample time if required. But yeah, so I think we're all good for it. May I suggest, because there are so many interesting stories that were shared. David, are you there? You're frozen. That's the maximum I've ever seen you sit still.
Yeah, I think he's
Okay.
stuck.
I think yeah, he's stuck. His net is down. So we'll wait for him to come back. But the idea is that there were so many interesting stories on the spot that people came up with. Uh, I would love for you all to do the voting rather than voting through polling. May I just suggest do a direct message? I think it'd be easier that way, and we'll do that. Is that okay, VP? Rather than running a poll for 5 people? Okay. David, we were just saying.
If it's required, I can launch the poll. I mean,
Do you have all the names set? Do you have all the names?
I have to edit a couple of names, so then I can get things done.
Well, if you can, actually, you're going to be evaluated right now, so it's important for you to listen to the evaluator. So don't worry about it. Just do a direct message. It's just the five of us. You just need to take my word with it, or to send it to VP. She's much more. Any one of us is fine, right? Okay, so do send that over, and I'll release the thing. David, we were just making an observation. That was the longest that we ever seen you sit still, and then we realized your screen was frozen. That's the other thing.
I don't like my Wi-Fi at certain times. It just makes just crap like this. That's why I try to join from my phone most of the time.
But you know, it's always Murphy's law. It works well till you have to speak, or till you have to use the net. That's what happens. That's Murphy's law for you.
Jesus Christ, man. It's annoying. All right.
Okay, so what you
Let's-
missed out, David, basically is please vote who we think was the best thing. You can send a direct message in. We're not starting the polling thing. I'll pass it on to Toastmaster Roshni just to introduce the segment for you to come and evaluate, please. Toastmaster Roshni.
So I call upon Toastmaster David to evaluate the speaker Toastmaster Quad.
Nice. Now, this is the next part of the segment where I have to be serious after spilling one of my more embarrassing stories about what I was crazy for a girl and all, what did I do crazy. Now I have to be serious. Time to be serious now about evaluation, about something I really enjoyed. Now, Toastmaster Kazi, your speech is quite good. Like starting from I enjoyed your speech because the thing is, when you speak, right, the humor aspect just comes along naturally. Like you don't even try; it just happens. Whatever you say is just funny. Like you just drop a sentence at the end of it. Like you drop when the full stop hits that, we just laugh because even though you may not make it out to be funny, it may be a very serious topic, but the way you present it, the way you present your style, it just works. Like I don't know, like we just love that. I love that personally. Now, based on the Toastmaster evaluation sheet, what did you excel at? You did the questionnaire that was mentioned, which mentioned the different styles of communication. That's important. That fulfill the criteria, basically. I hope you heard that. I didn't want to get stuck. And you talked about the positive and negative aspects of each communication style, which again fulfilled the criteria of what your purpose was about communication. And you did the most important thing, which didn't bore us, which is very difficult for a Toastmaster Kazi speech, which is to bore us, is you brought a personal touch to it, which is always very, very good with your profession or with your interactions with people around you. And the topics, the speeches you brought along were direct, analytical, supportive communicator, and initiator, which you did bring about a personal instance for each of those stories. And those communication styles. That is important because, again, like my principle is whenever anyone speaks, you have to either entertain, inform, or motivate, influence the speakers or the audience. And you did that. You entertained us and you informed us about these different styles. Along with the most highlighted point of today's speech, right, is you brought the comedy element on such a serious topic. Because it very well could have been a presentation. It could have been like, this is just a suggestion for anyone else doing such a thing, a presentation style where you talk about the direct, analytical, supportive, and initiative comments. That could have been a presentation, but you brought the comedy aspect, which greatly kept us alive over here. However, there is only one aspect that I wish that you could have added more. And while in this day and age, you can't really be one certain kind of communicator, you can't be one type of communicator, I would have loved to hear what you prefer most, like what type of communication. With the audience would have loved to hear, would you like to be more direct? Would you like to be more analytical, supportive, or initiative? I wanted to hear that. I wanted to hear that touch of the story. And I think you had like a minute left. So that last segment of your speech could have been on what your personal communication style is. Like for me, I would be a supporter or an initiator like Toastmasters Ganesh. But I would have wanted to hear it from you. Apart from that, the speech was good. You brought comedy. You fulfilled the criterion, which is important, and you successfully moved on to the next level or the next project. Thank you, and over to you, TMOD of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster David, for the evaluation. I think we've come to the end of our meeting. Do we have anything more today? Toastmaster Dinesh?
Yes, we do have a few more things, but we are more interested if you would like to add anything more to the theme that you have introduced today. First of all, Toastmaster David, you did your speech in 3 minutes 10 seconds. So obviously within the timeline that you're in there. That's fine.
Let's go.
Toastmaster Kazi, I've got options here. Who's the best speaker? Toastmaster Kazi, Toastmaster Kazi, Toastmaster Kazi, Toastmaster Kazi. I've got 5 Toastmaster Kazis here. I wonder if there's some. Am I going nuts or is there something else going on?
It works.
The reason I just launched this because I wanted to see how, because this first time I'm doing, I just wanted to see this how we can launch.
Yeah, the issue with this is
I have typed all the names, but I don't know why it has come only my name.
you just have to pick up that form.
Basically, I'm disqualified for this actually. Like I have spoken more than 2 minutes, I guess. I'm disqualified, but still.
No, there's no disqualification as far as I'm concerned. But what I meant to say, I didn't get any names. I was just joking, by the way. I got a blank form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just blank.
I was just trying to go with the theme to say that you're trying to win the thing. Okay. All right. Toastmaster of the day. I am actually, if it's okay with them, I'm just going to, because I would like to know a little more about the subject that you were talking about. I think it was so interesting. And if we can take a couple of more minutes for you to give us any more insights to what you said, then we can move on to the next segment. The goal is to try and reach the meeting to 8 o'clock. And then we can kind of say goodbye. Yes, Toastmaster David.
I mean, TMOD, you did ask us to share like clips and all that stuff, right? About our craziest moment. I don't think everyone here has.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for. What is everyone's craziest moment? Like, give that segment.
TM Roshni has watched Coffee with Karan, I guess. She is going in that.
No, I don't watch any reality shows. I'm so
Now, you know what her show will be called? Will be called Medicine with Toastmaster Roshni. How crazy you are. Okay.
So yeah, so do any of you have any clips where you've done something crazy or exciting?
Toastmaster Sridevi has. So what is that clip?
Okay.
Please share.
Yeah, of course. Just give me a moment.
It's fine.
So can you see that?
Yeah, it's a glass painting.
Yeah.
It's a mosaic of some sort, right?
That is one of my craziest hobbies. I love to paint, and I don't leave any corner of my house which I have not painted. So that is my kitchen wardrobe actually, so which I have painted with the glass paint.
Amazing.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I
think we should all be allowed to paint our walls and desks and chairs. And in school, we used to be scolded for doing that. But, we should be allowed to be crazy.
This is yet another crazy painting done by me.
Wow.
Interesting.
I'm a crazy artist. Usually people think I'm just nuts to do painting here and there. I paint on my switchboards. I paint in my kitchen and even in the balcony. So when I did that, people were just asking, is it this balcony actually? So I did it for the sake of my kids, but others think I am insane.
This is amazing. It's actually quite good.
And thank you so much. So that was my madness.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster
I'm
Shiv.
wondering if I'm wondering if you are the Banksy. You guys heard of Banksy, right? He's an artist uh, who privately, quietly goes around painting in the middle of the roads, and all of a sudden, no one knows what it is, and they're very interesting art forms. So if you get a chance to look at Banksy, no one knows who he is, but he does tend to paint around all over the place.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster.
But amazing how many painters we have got it and thing, and creativity is just wonderful.
Definitely. Wow.
Okay.
So, anyone else has something crazy to show?
Anything?
No, but
Share.
I would like to ask Toastmaster Roshni, which was the most. Let's ask her a question, and she's introduced a crazy subject, but she hasn't really gone into that thing. Anyone got an interesting question for her?
I think
Is that
I
a
have.
sorry? Is that a hand raised up by Toastmaster Kazi? Please free to speak up. I can see a hand, but I just noticed it right now. Can't hear you, Toastmaster Kazi.
I haven't raised my hand, but I also want to share something which I have done, something unique.
Share.
Ooh.
Share.
Please do.
Can you see my screen?
No,
No,
not
not
yet.
yet.
No.
Just click on share, I think. Ah,
Whoa.
I do this henna painting on my daughter's hand and my wife's hand. It's
okay.
like there was one event in school that my dad is superhero, so I have done that on my daughter's hand.
That's amazing.
And this is my wife's hand and my daughter's hand. Like I have done this design. This henna design.
Wonderful.
Yeah, this is my daughter's hand again.
Wow.
So this I like henna painting, and I have done this, and my family like it. Yes, this is the thing I just wanted to share.
Amazing.
Beautiful, Toastmaster Kazi.
Thank you very much.
See, all of you have this inner craziness, hidden talents within you, but you're just too afraid to showcase it out. I'm so glad everyone's coming up with so many craziness.
The entrepreneur in me is thinking that we should become showstopper event company. We've got people who are comics. We've got people who are artists who can do the sets. We've got people who come up with impromptu questions that make people laugh. We can get into the event business, and the name showstoppers actually fits very well into that area.
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Uh, we'll move to the next segment if no one else has got anything else to share. Toshna Roshi, anything else from your end as Team OD?
No, I just would love, I love the table topics session because they brought in the theme with it, the questions, and it was really amazing. So yeah, I wanted to share that.
Thank you. The next segment is supposed to be the trivia portion of it, which Toastmaster Alvin was supposed to do. But I was so involved into what you guys were saying that I couldn't even jot down the questions. But I have a few questions that come to mind, right? So these are just to test your listening skills, all right? Basically, a segment to fill in for some time to do things. So I'm going to ask you a question. Let's start with a much more serious one. Toastmaster Kazi spoke about some communication styles, right? Uh, so does anyone remember what those three styles are? And our answer don't need to come by one person. The idea is just throw them out there. We know he's direct, so direct is out of the question. All right. What else?
Supportive.
Now, good. These are recaps. Analytical, wonderful. And there's one about this person who talks a lot and doesn't listen to other people as well. There's one style called that as well.
Initiating.
Perfect. Well done. Well done. All right. Moving to the next set of questions. All right. Toastmaster Roshni was told she has to marry a certain type of doctor to have a very chilled life. That was the advice that she was given. Does anybody remember what type of doctor was that?
Cardiologist,
Well,
definitely cardiologist.
well done, well done. They're so good at cutting your heart apart, aren't they? Okay. Moving on to Toastmaster Kazi gave us some tips on how do you deal with feeling ridiculous. Can anyone answer one tip at least? Towards the end, he was saying, you know what, people, life is ridiculous, but these are some of the things that you can do.
Shall I?
Toastmaster Kazi, we'll give you a chance. Why not? Sorry, David, you want to try it?
By him being ridiculous, I would say not listening to other people or assuming that people don't like one another without communicating. That was one instance. He felt it was ridiculous.
Now, it's an instant recall moment for Toastmaster Kazi. Let's see if he remembers what he said. Go ahead, Toastmaster Kazi.
Yeah, I was talking about ignoring the things and being in positive frame of mind.
Perfect. Ignorance is what you mentioned about, right? I actually, there are so many things I can pick up from David's story, but I won't pick that up. But I think let's ask just one quick last random question. Uh, what was the question number that Toastmaster Roshni asked? Toastmaster Sridev, you can't give the answer. You have the question number already. But what number question did we select with? Number 3. Perfect. Well done. Right. So I mean, we could go on, but I think the trivia bit is always good to introduce into our meetings in the long run when we have more people, just to keep people on their feet and listen to it. And I think it's not about checking if people listen as much as it is about impromptu recalling of the information that goes in, because we process so much of information around us that sometimes sit in our conscious mind and some in our subconscious mind. Dr. Roshni, you're rubbing off on me. I think I'm becoming one of those guys who's talking over things. Okay, last question. Which is the book that Toastmaster Roshni spoke about, on which she based her talk on? Does anybody remember? And that author wrote another famous book as well. I mean, he wrote many famous books, one major one. I'll give you a hint, guys. Chat group.
Veronica decides to die. Veronica decides. I went to the chat group. I'm being honest. I went to the chat group.
Toastmaster Roshni, what would make you go pick up a book that talks about Veronica dying? What inspired you? I sometimes wonder what makes people pick up the titles that they do. I mean, I know I pick up things that sound ridiculous and things like deep thought and all that sort of stuff. But what made you pick up that book? I'm just curious.
It was something related with psychology, and that kind of intrigues me. So I thought, why not try it?
By
And I
the way, I
just
read
came
that
across
book.
this book randomly. It's just, no one even suggested me this book. I just randomly picked it up, and it turned out to be really good.
It was among the top few in the Reader's Digest as well. So it did get a lot of stuff. All right, guys, I think that brings us towards the end of our segment. From a word master perspective, anything that you want to throw in word master in there in regards to what you introduced today?
Toastmaster David is frozen.
I think he times is very properly so that he gets away from talking. But anyway, while we're waiting for him to come back, any feedback? I think the anti-word concept is wonderful. I think if the more, I would love for us to try using that word. I think the rule should be try to use that word, but don't use this specific word. So that way people are forced to use that in their speeches, but think simultaneously for other words at the same time as well. All right, fine. So we'll wait for David to come back. So I will do my end speech in this case. Give me a second. I want to just check my chat groups if you all send me your polls. Okay, guys, can you all please send me your polls as to who do you think was the best table topic speaker? If not in this meeting, I will put it up in the chat group later. All right. So we're waiting for a couple of more to come in as well. So from my perspective, I want to thank the guests who are not here for tolerating how nutsy our meeting was and how what a lunatic team of people Showstoppers has got. But that is what attracts me to Showstoppers. I had gone to this court training and people asked me what made you choose Showstoppers. And my honest reply was the honesty and the integrity that I find in the people there itself. Uh, what attracts me to be a part of Showstoppers? I've been to many clubs. There are your high flyers, the perfect speakers, and all that sort of stuff in there. But I sometimes I feel the comfort that we provide here is amazing. So that's thing. TMOD, wonderful theme. I think it was interesting, and you should recommend people to read that sort of book. And if you ever get a chance to be the TMOD again, please do so. I think all of us will agree she was extremely entertaining, very, you kept us excited. I mean, for the shots, for the few members that we have got, and to get 1 hour meeting going and laughing and enjoying the whole process, it's amazing. Toastmaster Sri Devi, like I mentioned already, I think this whole concept of anti is amazing. Like I said, the more we should encourage our members to use that word, use that theme, but not use that word in our speeches. Maybe, and that's what we should be counting to say, okay, did the guy use another word for craziness, and did they incorporate craziness? Yeah, right. Uh, Table topics, wonderful job. I think the questions were interesting, the answers were much more interesting. So it was amazing to hear that the whole concept. Toastmaster Kazi, I won't even comment on your speech. I think David has done a wonderful job assessing you. My in Hindi filmy style, like they say, your dialogue delivery is perfect. You can put up the serious note and throw in that humor in there, which makes it very interesting. But it's always very interesting to hear you speak in the whole process. David, always wonderful to hear you review and give your feedback, right? And it's an excellent thing in that sense. Um the goal I would like as a showstoppers to do is to start helping our members move to the evaluation stages so that the evaluators get a chance to start doing their speeches and there are more people doing evaluations. I've shared this in the last meeting as well. I want to start this feedback forms. So if any of you have any personal feedback that you can give to our speaker today, please send it to him directly. But in the future meetings, we put up a form where, like, in the physical meetings, they fill up a chit and then the chit is given to the speaker. So let's just introduce that concept because I think it will help people get better at what it is. In terms of my final few announcements, I just want to quickly update you guys. I think two of you are already there, but we had this court training, and I think it was wonderful. The SAA was excellent, running around all over the place. Thank you, David, for being the SAA and keeping us entertained out there. But I think it was very valuable thing, and I've given my feedback into the whole process that it was very informative, but it would have been lovely if people could interact a little more with one another and build those sort of relationships that you need to bank on as you go along in other clubs things. So the court training is over, but there will be another court training moving forward. Our next meeting is going to be 2 weeks from now. I encourage you all to please pick up a role in there. My ideal dream, which the XCOM team would be, which we have to discuss, is for every member to try and have a speech slot every 2 or 3 meetings, right? Because that will help the member grow, it will help the club grow till we get to another stage of things. Uh, David had also mentioned the fact that there are going to be competitions coming up. So I think, David, with VP, let's start thinking on those themes to get those ideas flowing so that we can start competing in the different areas that we are in, right? Parting thoughts from my end is as the current XCOM, I think we want to be open to people sharing their feedback as to how they want to run these meetings and how they want to be things. Personal observation, Toastmaster Roshni, I've seen you shine in the most when you're the most relaxed. Please keep the demeanor every time when you're with us because you are really funny and you can speak very well as well. So keep that going, and we want to see more and more members do that. Right. So those are the things from my end. Is there anything else that anybody would like to share or discuss? Okay, then in that sense, all I'm going to say, please be patient. We will have all our members joining us in the coming few meetings. People have got commitments. It's a summer break. But I also feel this is the right opportunity for people to do trial and error in trying to do with a smaller audience and get more of a feedback in a relaxed format. So use those opportunities, all right? So in the powers vested in me, I call this meeting to an end, right? And you may stop recording